Betrayed. Broken, reborn. This is Novel Binge.
My wife used a fake paternity test to take my son. At my son's 5th birthday party, my wife exposed a paternity test in front of everyone and told me the boy I had raised for 5 years was not mine. Everyone waited for me to break. Instead, I looked at the report number and asked one question. At my son's 5th birthday party, my wife slapped a paternity test report down in front of everyone. Her eyes were red as she said, "Gu Hua, stop pretending. Xiaochuan isn't your child at all." My father-in-law slid a divorce agreement across the table and demanded that I leave with nothing. He also wanted me to sign a statement, admitting I had known the child was not mine and had used that fact to extort the Lin family. Everyone was waiting for me to fall apart. I was the only one who looked at the number printed at the bottom of the report and asked, "Are you sure you want to use this report as formal evidence?" The candles on Gu Xiaoxuan's 5th birthday cake had not even been lit. Lin Wantang slammed a paternity test report in front of me. The paper slid across the banquet table and stopped beside my wine glass. The red wine inside trembled. A moment earlier, the banquet hall had been full of laughter. Relatives, business partners, and old friends of the Lin family were all gathered around, praising Xiaochuan for growing taller and saying his eyes looked more and more like his mother's. Then the room went silent. Lin Wantang stood across from me in a cream-white dress. Her eyes were rimmed red, just enough to look wounded without ruining her makeup. Her voice was not loud, but everyone heard it. "Gu Hua, let's get divorced." I looked at her. She took a breath, as if she had been holding this in for a very long time. "Xiaochuan is not your child," someone gasped. A few guests glanced at me, then quickly looked away. My mother was not at the banquet. She was still in the hospital. If she had been there, that sentence alone might have sent her straight back into critical care. I reached for the report. The first page said Linhai Huacheng Forensic Testing Center. Conclusion: Gu Huai is excluded as the biological father of Gu Xiaoxuan. Below the conclusion was an electronic seal, along with a QR code, an anti-counterfeit code, and a report number. I stared at it for a few seconds. My fingers paused near the footer. Lin Wantang thought I had been shocked speechless. She softened her tone. "Gu Hua, I know this is hard for you to accept, but facts are facts. I don't want to keep deceiving you, and I don't want Xiaoxuan to live inside a lie." I looked up at her. "When did you do this test?" She bit her lip. "Last week." I looked at the report again. It had been issued last Wednesday at 3:47 in the afternoon. I remembered that day very clearly. Last Wednesday, Xiaoxuan had a parent-child activity at kindergarten. When I picked him up, he was still holding my hand and proudly showing me the birthday hat he had decorated. Lin Wantang did not mention taking Xiaoxuan for a checkup until that evening. I said nothing. Lin Kaiming, Lin Wantang's father, sat at the head of the table with a face as dark as iron. He set down his teacup with a heavy thud. "Gu Hua, you've seen the report. Today is Xiaochuan's birthday, and we didn't want things to get this ugly." He said he did not want it to get ugly, but his voice was harder than anyone else's. "But for all these years, you have lived off the Lin family. You stayed in our house, used our connections, and accepted our support. Now that the truth is in front of everyone, you owe this family an explanation." I smiled. "I owe you an explanation?" My mother-in-law, Jiang Rong, immediately snapped. "You can still laugh. Gu Huai, how can you be this shameless? The child isn't yours yet. You still cling to Wantang and refuse to let go. Did you already know?" Someone nearby whispered. "No wonder the Lin family never liked this son-in-law. He's practically a live-in son-in-law, and now the child isn't even his. Kind of pitiful, but dragging this out really looks bad." Their voices were low, but I heard every word. 5 years of marriage, 5 years of father and son. To them, it was just gossip. I did not tear up the report. I did not shout at Lin Wantang. I simply smoothed the report flat on the table and tapped the anti-counterfeit code beside the electronic seal. "Are you sure you want to use this report as formal evidence?" Lin Wantang froze. Lin Qiming sneered. "What are you trying to say? That the report is fake?" I did not answer. Lin Wantang quickly recovered, looking at me with a trace of pity in her eyes. "Gu Huai, I know you work in tech. You might try to seize on these small details to make excuses." She paused. "But this report came from a legitimate testing center." Just then, footsteps sounded at the entrance of the banquet hall. A man walked in, wearing a suit and gold-rimmed glasses. He carried a birthday gift prepared for Xiaochuan. Xu Chengzhou, Lin Wantang's first love from college, who had returned from abroad 3 months ago. He walked over to Lin Wantang, glanced at me, then looked at Xiaochuan. "Happy birthday, Xiaochuan." Xiaochuan sat in his booster seat with both hands gripping his fork. He did not call out to me. He did not even look at me. Xu Chengzhou placed the gift in front of him and said gently, "Do you want to open it?" Xiaochuan stole a glance at Lin Wantang. Lin Wantang patted his head. "Xiaochuan, say thank you to Uncle Xu." The child whispered. "Thank you, Uncle Xu." Something pressed down on my chest. Not because of Xu Chengzhou, because Xiaochuan sounded so used to saying it. The birthday banquet did not continue. The cake was pushed into a corner, and not one of the 5 candles was lit. Lin Qiming asked the waiter to turn off the music, then had someone close the side doors of the banquet hall. "Since everything is already out in the open," he said, We might as well settle it once and for all. His assistant brought in a folder. There was not just one document inside. There was a whole stack. A divorce agreement, a property waiver, a child custody arrangement, and a written statement. When I flipped to the last one, my fingers stopped. It read, Gu Huai voluntarily admits that during the marriage, despite knowing Gu Xiaochuan had no biological relationship with him, he used the fact that he had raised the child to demand financial compensation from the Lin family. I looked up at Lin Qiming. You prepared this too. Lin Qiming leaned back in his chair. Sign it, and everyone saves face. What if I don't? Jiang Rong let out a cold laugh. If you don't sign, then everyone will see what kind of man you really are. A man who lives off his wife, knows the child isn't his, and still tries to squeeze money from her family. Lin Wantang's eyes reddened further. She tugged gently at Jiang Rong's sleeve. Mom, stop. Then she looked at me, her voice softening. Gu Huai, I don't want to push you to the edge. If you sign the agreement, I'll continue arranging treatment for Auntie. Xiaochuan won't need child support from you in the future either. And my visitation rights. She avoided my eyes. Xiaochuan needs stability right now. I laughed. Stable enough that he can't see me. Lin Wantang said nothing. Xu Chengzhou stepped forward, sounding as if he were simply mediating. Mr. Gi Yu, now that the child knows the truth, it's a psychological shock for him. If you insist on maintaining your role as his father, it may cause him further harm. I looked at him. In what capacity are you saying this? Xu Chengzhou paused. Everyone in the banquet hall turned toward him. Lin Wantang clenched her fingers. Lin Qiming, however, did not bother to hide anything. Chengzhou is a professional in genetic counseling, he said calmly. He understands these matters better than you do. Professional. I looked at Xu Chengzhou. He met my eyes steadily behind his glasses, as if he were standing inside an ending that had already been written. I closed the folder. I'm not signing. Jiang Rong stood up at once. Gu Huai, don't be ungrateful. I ignored her. I turned and walked to Xiaochuan. The child was still sitting there with his birthday hat crooked on his head. His eyes were slightly red. I crouched down and reached out to straighten his hat. Xiaochuan, let Dad take you outside first. Okay. He flinched. Then he shrank behind Lin Wantang. My hand froze in midair. Lin Wantang immediately wrapped her arms around him. Chuan, don't be afraid. I looked at the child. He did not dare meet my eyes. In a tiny voice, he said, Grandma said, I can't call you Dad anymore. The banquet hall went silent. A lump of ice seemed to lodge in my throat. Xiaochuan, he trembled. Uncle Xu said you're not my father, so I can't let you hold me. At that moment, I did not look at Xu Chengzhou. I was afraid I might actually lose control. Lin Wantang held Xiaochuan and cried, Gu Huai, you heard him. The child already knows. Why are you still forcing him? I slowly withdrew my hand. My fingers had gone numb. I stood, took the report, and picked up the agreement. Lin Qiming frowned. What are you doing? Making a copy. The original cannot leave this room. I glanced at him. Then, I'll take photos. Jiang Rong snapped. Are you going to play the victim online? I did not answer. I photographed every page. Report number, QR code, signature, sample collection date, issue, date, signatory. I captured every detail clearly. Lin Wantang looked at me as if I were a joke still refusing to end. Gu Huai, stop wasting your energy. The result won't change. I put away my phone. Then, I hope it doesn't. When I left the hotel, it had started raining. My phone kept vibrating. Old Joe, my business partner, called me. Gi Huai, what's going on? Someone posted a video online saying you harassed your ex-wife at your son's birthday party and tried to use the child to extort money. I stopped at the hotel entrance. That fast? What do you mean that fast? Check the local trending list yourself. I opened the platform. A local relationship blogger named Han Lu had posted a video. The title was blunt. 5 years of marriage, shocking reversal. The child is not his, yet the husband still forces his wife to divide assets. In the video, Lin Wantang cried as she said Xiaochuan was not mine. I stood across from her, expressionless. Then the footage cut to me walking toward Xiaochuan, who hid behind Lin Wantang and cried. After that came the part where I photographed the report. The caption read, even after being exposed, he still tried to take the evidence away. It seems he plans to keep causing trouble. The comments had already exploded. This man is disgusting. Raising someone else's child for 5 years is tragic, but if he already knew and still wanted money, that's shameless. Look at how he's dressed. He's clearly not some successful man, probably lived off his wife's family. The child is already afraid of him, and he still wants to hold him? I checked the posting time, 7:32 p.m. I looked at the electronic screen in the hotel lobby. It was now 7:41 p.m. The video included footage of me taking the last photo of the report. From filming, editing, captioning, posting, and boosting the video, it had taken 9 minutes. Too fast. so fast it looked prepared. Old Joe cursed through the phone. Say something. This is already affecting the company. Clients are calling me with questions. Don't respond yet. Are you crazy? If you don't respond now, they'll pin you down for good. I watched the insults in the comments multiply. Don't respond yet. Then, I hung up. Rain hit my phone screen, blurring Lin Wantang's tear-streaked face into a smear. I stood there for a long time before hailing a cab to the hospital. My mother was staying on the 11th floor of Linhai Renkang Hospital, a hospital controlled by the Lin family. As soon as I reached the nurse's station, I was told the account was overdue. The nurse looked uncomfortable. Mr. Gi Yu, your mother's prepayment channel was suspended this afternoon. For all further medication, you'll need to settle the outstanding balance first. How much? She gave me the number. I had enough money in my account, but paying it all at once would cut off the company's cash flow. My mother heard the voices outside and propped herself up in bed. Why? What happened? I walked in. Nothing. Just a system issue. She looked at me. I had never been able to lie to her well, not since I was a child. She did not press me. She only said, "You look pale." I folded the payment slip and put it into my pocket. My phone vibrated again. A message came from an unknown number. Sign the agreement and the medical bills will continue. Don't let your mother suffer because of you. No, signature. There was no need for one. I stared at that line for several seconds. My mother said softly, "Is it the Lin family?" I did not answer. She sighed. Why? All these years, you kept giving way because you thought family mattered more than petty arguments. She took my hand. But if they treat your patience as permission to trample on you, then stop giving way. I lowered my eyes. Outside the hospital window, the rain kept falling. My mother added, "It's not that you have no ability. You just hid it away because you wanted to live peacefully." My throat tightened. "Mom, I'll handle it." She nodded. "Don't worry about me. I can still hold on." After leaving her room, I sent a message to someone I had not contacted in a long time. "Du Heng, help me look at the format of a report." He replied 3 minutes later, "A paternity test." I sent him the photos. After a while, he replied, "Where did you get this?" I asked, "Is there a problem?" He sent back 4 words. "Don't show your hand yet." Du Heng and I had worked on projects together years ago. Back then, he was even more straightforward than I was. He could not tolerate anyone tampering with system records. Later, I left judicial data auditing and started a small risk control company. With old Joe, Du Heng stayed in digital forensics. As soon as our call connected, his first words were, "The report ID doesn't match." I stood at the end of the hospital corridor and looked out at the rain. What's wrong with it? Huaking Center was connected to the Linhai Judicial Appraisal Cloud platform last year. The prefix of a paternity test report number should correspond to the S. Ample type. The temporary template number in your photo shouldn't appear there at all. I said nothing. He continued, "Also, the QR code redirect path looks strange. It seems to have been modified from an internal testing address. Can you confirm? It's fake, not from the photos alone." Du Heng was always cautious. "The format only gives us suspicion. To truly confirm it, we need the original sampling chain and the backend report generation logs." Understood. He paused. "Gu Huai, are you in trouble? My wife used this report to claim my son isn't mine." Silence lasted 2 seconds. "Your son? Yes. Then don't publicly accuse them of forging the report yet. If they dared to present it, they've prepared a backup plan. The moment you say it's fake, they'll patch the holes." I looked at my reflection in the glass. My face looked terrible. "I know," Du Heng muttered. "A curse. You're still the same. The more serious things get, the colder you become." It was not coldness. When anger reaches a certain point, it goes silent. Before I returned to my mother's room, I received a message from Lin Wantang. "Tomorrow morning at 10 Civil Mediation Center. Come sign the agreement." Then, another message. "Don't make things difficult for Xiaochuan anymore." I replied, "We can talk." She responded quickly, "If you had agreed earlier, none of this would have happened." I put my phone away. The next morning, I went to the mediation center. The Lin family arrived before I did. Lin Wantang sat across the table, looking haggard, as if she had not slept all night. Xu Chengzhou was there too. He wore a white shirt, looking clean and composed. Lin Qiming pushed the agreement toward me. "Sign it." I flipped through it once. It was the same as the night before, except for one new clause. Gu Huai promises not to conduct any form of paternity retesting regarding Gu Xiaoxuan. I tapped that line. "Delete this." Lin Qiming frowned. "You still want to disturb the child? If you're certain the report is real, you don't need to fear a retest." Lin Wantang's eyes flickered. Xu Chengzhou immediately spoke. "Mr. Gi Yu repeated sampling will add to the child's psychological burden." I looked at him. 2 oral swabs. "Is that enough to burden your conscience?" Xu Chengzhou's expression shifted slightly, but he recovered quickly. "The issue is not the sampling itself. It's your refusal to accept the truth." I nodded. Then I'll sign a supplementary statement. Lin Keeming asked coldly. What statement? I took out the paper I had prepared. It was simple. I am willing to cooperate with a formal re-verification of Gu Xiaoshuan's biological relationship. The entire process of sampling submission, report generation, and receipt must be legally documented. A review report cannot be issued based only on a privately collected sample provided by one party. The mediator looked at it and said, "This request is reasonable." Lin Keeming's face darkened. Jiang Rong could not hold back. "You're the one who got humiliated. And now you're pretending to care about procedure." I ignored her. I placed my pen on the table. Either we go through a formal review process, or there's nothing to discuss today. Lin Wantang stared at me. She seemed to be deciding whether I had truly reached my limit. After a long pause, she said softly, "Fine." Lin Keeming turned to her. "Wantang." She gritted her teeth. "Dad, let him do the review. That way he won't keep bothering us later." Xu Chengzhou also said, "A formal review is fine. The conclusion won't change." I looked up at him. He happened to be looking at me too. I smiled. "I hope you remember that." I signed the supplementary statement. I did not sign the divorce agreement. The Lin family, however, spread the news that I had started cooperating with the divorce. Han Lu posted a second video. This time, the title was even more inflammatory. Husband finally admits the child is not his. Insider says the woman has already given him dignity. The comments became even worse. The company lost 3 clients in a row. Old Joe stormed into my office and slammed his laptop on my desk. "Gu Huai, what exactly are you waiting for?" I was checking the posting times of Han Lu's videos. For her to post a few more. Old Joe stared at me. "Have you lost your mind?" The first video went up before the banquet had even ended. The wording in the second video from the so-called insider is highly consistent. The Lin family's agreement. The more she posts, the more traces she leaves of their coordination. Old Joe stared harder. "So you really do have evidence?" "Not enough yet." "Then at least tell me what we're going to do about the company." I looked up. "Hold out for 10 days. 10 days. Do you know how much money we'll lose in 10 days? "I know." Old Joe gritted his teeth. "If you ruin me, I'll pack you up and sell you to the Lin family." I hummed. "Sell me at a high price." He cursed at me and left. After he was gone, I opened the photo of the report and zoomed in page by page. Du Heng sent me a screenshot. Look at the timestamp of the seal in the lower right corner. It says 15 hours 47 minutes and 9 seconds, but the file generation time should be simultaneous. The cache time for this QR code callback is 15 hours 46 minutes and 21 seconds. That means the QR code existed before the report was generated. I replied, "Can this be used as evidence?" "Not directly," he answered. "It can only be a point of suspicion." A few seconds later, he added another message. "But the sampling time is even more absurd. The report says the sample was collected at 9 a.m. last Wednesday. Did you see the child at that time?" I stared at the sentence. "Last Wednesday, at 9 in the morning. I was in the kindergarten auditorium. Xiaochuan was sitting on my lap, sticking a birthday sticker on my shirt. There were dozens of parents there, and the teacher had even taken a group photo." I replied, "Yes, I was with him." Du Heng responded, "Then start with the person who collected the samples." I called Lin Wantang. She did not answer, so I sent her a message. "Last Wednesday, at 9 a.m., where did Xiaoshuan give his sample?" 10 minutes later, she replied, "I took him there." "Which branch?" "It's written on the report. Last Wednesday at 9 a.m., Xiaochuan was in kindergarten. Did you forget?" For a long time, there was no reply. Half an hour later, Xu Chengzhou called me. "Mr. Yu Wantang is emotionally unstable right now. Stop pressuring her." "So you're here to explain for her?" "I'm only reminding you that in testing procedures, the recorded time and the actual sampling time can sometimes differ." I stared at the report on my screen. My question was where the child was. Xu Chengzhou paused. "Samples can be submitted by a guardian. The child does not always need to be present. The report says on site sampling." There was a second of silence. Then he said, "The staff may have entered the wrong record." I laughed. "You're very familiar with this." Xu Chengzhou's tone. "Cool, Gu Huai. Picking at these minor details is meaningless. Biological facts won't change just because you refuse to accept them. Then, we'll go through the formal review. You'll regret this." He hung up. Those words did not sound like a threat. They sounded like a warning. A warning that they still had another move prepared. Their next move came quickly. Lin Wantang filed for a protective order. The reason given was that I had attempted to forcibly take the child and could cause him psychological harm. Their evidence was a video from the kindergarten entrance. In the video, I stood at the gate and crouched down to speak with Xiaochuan. Xiaochuan stepped back. The camera shook. He stumbled. Lin Wantang rushed over and pulled him into her arms, shouting at me, "Why can't you just let him go?" The video ended there. The comments exploded again. "Is this man insane? The kid doesn't even want him, and he still blocks the kindergarten gate. If he's not your biological child, why fight over him?" Someone should call the police. But that was not what happened. That day, I only wanted to bring Xiaochuan his coat. The weather had suddenly turned cold, and the kindergarten teacher called to tell me Xiaochuan had a C. When I arrived at the entrance, Jiang Rong was leading him out. The moment Xiaochuan saw me, his eyes lit up. Only for a moment. Then Jiang Rong lowered her head and said something to him. The child slowly withdrew his hand. I crouched down. Xiaochuan, let dad give you your coat. He did not take it. His lips trembled. Mom said, I can't take your things. My chest tightened. Dad won't touch you. I'll just put the coat here. I had just placed the coat on the ground when a man suddenly squeezed in beside me and bumped my shoulder. Xiaochuan was startled. He tripped on the edge of the step and fell. Lin Wantang, as if she had been waiting in the car all along, rushed out. The video began from there. I went to the kindergarten to request the surveillance footage. The administrator hesitated. Mr. Yu, we can't hand out surveillance footage casually. I can proceed through legal channels. A security guard, who had been listening nearby, could not help but interject. The man filming that video came early. I saw him squatting near the gate for almost an hour. The kindergarten director shot him a glare. The guard immediately shut his mouth. I looked at him. Thank you. He waved his hand and said quietly, the boy fell. It wasn't your fault. That sentence changed nothing. But it kept me standing at the kindergarten entrance for a long time. That evening, before the court had even responded to the protective order application, the Lin family posted a screenshot of it online. Han Lu captioned it, a child is not a bargaining chip. Don't hurt him in the name of fatherly love. I clicked into her profile. Her private messages were closed, but her business email was still visible. I saved the posting times of all 3 videos, the similarities in the captions, and the accounts that had amplified them. Then I asked Old Joe to look into the entities behind her Resi NT advertising collaborations. Old Joe stared at the spreadsheet and his expression slowly changed. The company is Tangsing Media. It's a regular supplier for Lin Wantang's brand department, I said. They transferred money to Han Lu last month. How much? 200,000. The payment reason was listed as mother and child public welfare promotion. I nodded. Keep it. For once, Old Joe did not curse. His voice lowered. Gu Huai, this wasn't impulsive. They're trying to bury you completely. I looked at Lin Wantang's reddened eyes on the screen. I know. Du Heng found the name Chin Min. He sent only one sentence. The nurse listed as the sample collector at Huekung Center last Wednesday morning, Chin Min, has already resigned. I asked, how did you find that? He replied, don't ask. It's close to the legal edge, but still on this side of it. When I found Chin Min, she was working the night shift at a community clinic. She was in her 20s, with a tired face and tense shoulders. After I mentioned Huekung Center, the pen in her hand fell onto the table. I don't know you. She turned to leave. I blocked the doorway. I'm not here to hurt you. Then, why are you here? To ask about a report. Her face went pale. I don't know anything. I showed her a photo of the report. She glanced at it once, then pushed my phone away. Go, leave. The report says you collected the samples. She clenched her teeth. That's what the system says. And in reality, she stayed silent. Outside the clinic, a child coughed in his mother's arms while they waited in line. Chin Min lowered her head and began arranging medicine boxes. Her fingers would not stop trembling. I lowered my voice. Nurse Chin, that report has now been used by the Lin family as evidence in a divorce case and as grounds to restrict me from seeing my child. If the report is fraudulent, this is no longer just an internal violation. She jerked her head up. I told you, I don't know anything. I nodded and turned to leave. Just as I reached the door, she suddenly spoke. I didn't collect a sample from the child that day. I stopped. Her voice was very low. Miss Lin didn't bring the child. She only brought a sealed sample too. According to regulations, that shouldn't have been accepted. But the director said she was an important client, so we could complete the paperwork afterward. I turned back. Was Xu Chengzhou there? Her expression changed instantly. I already knew the answer. Her lips trembled. He had been in the sample room. The director said he was an expert consultant. How long was he inside? 10 to 15 minutes. And afterward, the sample bag had been moved. After saying those few sentences, she looked as if all her strength had drained away. That's all I can say. I already resigned. I don't want trouble. Why did you resign? Chin Min lowered her head. That day wasn't the first time. A chill spread through me. I stared at her. She avoided my eyes. Some reports already had their conclusions decided before testing. The samples only went through the motions. Someone called her from outside. Nurse Chin, the IV drip. She turned at once. I did not push further. Before I left, I placed my business card on the table. When you want to protect yourself, come find me. She did not pick it up. But she did not throw it away either. The Lin family held a press conference soon after. On the surface, it was meant to clarify malicious rumors. In reality, it was meant to cut off my last escape route. At the press conference, Lin Wantang wore a black suit and looked pale. She faced the cameras and said, I never wanted to hurt anyone. I am simply a mother trying to give my child a real and safe environment to grow up in. Xu Chengzhou sat beside her. The host introduced him as Mr. Xu Chengzhou, a genetic counseling expert who recently returned from overseas. He nodded at the cameras. Then he presented the second report. This is the review report completed. According to procedure, after Mr. Gu agreed to cooperate, the results are consistent with the first report. I was watching the live stream from my office. Old Joe stood beside me, his face dark. They actually dared to do it. I said nothing. On the screen, Shu Chengzhou pointed at the report and explained. Many people online are concerned about the timeline. In paternity testing, sampling time, entry time, and report generation time can differ because of system batch processing. He spoke smoothly, too smoothly, as if every word had been rehearsed. A reporter asked, so from a professional standpoint, Mr. Gu's claim that the report was fabricated is not valid. Shu Chengzhou smiled faintly. From a professional standpoint, no. Science cannot be denied. Simply because someone refuses to accept an outcome due to personal emotion. Lin Wantang lowered her head and wiped her tears. Gu Huai and I were married for 5 years. I gave him chances, but he pushed me again and again. He pushed me, and he pushed our child. The comments were full of sympathy for her. Soon after, Han Lu posted a long article. I've seen far too much resentment inside failed marriages, but children should never be used as tools for adults to vent their anger. My phone rang. It was Lin Kaiming. I answered. His voice was cold. Did you see it? I saw it. Gu Huai, I'll give you one last chance. Sign the agreement and make a public apology. I'll continue paying your mother's medical bills, and I can tell my people to go easy on your company. And, if I refuse, Lin Qiming chuckled, then wait to be sued for extortion. And from now on don't even think about seeing Xiaoshuan again. I stared at the second report on the screen. Chairman Lin, are you sure you want this review report submitted as formal evidence? There was a moment of silence on the other end. Don't try to play tricks. I'm only reminding you, formal evidence is different from a public video. You can't scare me. He ended the call. At almost the same moment, a message from Du Heng popped up. The signatory on the second report has been changed. I replied, but the review IP hasn't changed. He sent a surprised emoji. You noticed? I stared at the tiny export number in the corner of the report. They had been too impatient. After a moment, Du Heng replied, Gu Huai, I can find a way to apply for electronic data preservation, but I need a formal reason. I answered, I'll give you one. That evening, I submitted the organized materials to the regulatory authorities. The abnormal report number, the suspicious sampling process, the contradictory review report timeline, the public opinion videos released before ordinary editing should have been possible, the financial connection between Han Lu and Tangxing Media, and Qin Min's recorded statement that day wasn't the first time. The recording was incomplete. She had not agreed to make it public, so it could only serve as a lead. But it was enough to initiate a preliminary investigation. After submitting everything, I sat in my car for a long time. A message from Xiaochuan's kindergarten teacher appeared on my phone. Mr. Giyu Xiaochuan had a bad cough today. His mother said she already picked him up. I replied, thank you. Just after I sent it, Lin Wantang called. Her voice was panicked. Xiaochuan had an allergic reaction. He was taken to the hospital. My heart sank. Which hospital? Renkang. Again. By the time I arrived, Xiaochuan was already in the emergency room. Lin Wantang stood at the ward door, blocking me from entering. What are you doing here? How is he? None of your business. I looked past her. Xiaochuan lay in bed, pale, with an IV needle in the back of his hand. He saw me. His lips moved slightly, but Lin Wantang stepped in front of him, cutting off his view. Shu Chengzhou was there too. The doctor came out with a form. The child has a severe allergic reaction. We need to verify his medical history. Who is the immediate family member? I stepped forward. I'm his father, Lin Wantang said at once. He is not. The doctor froze. Shu Chengzhou cleared his throat lightly. I can assist. The doctor looked at him. What is your relationship to the child? Shu Chengzhou hesitated. I'm a family friend. Family friend. At those two words, Lin Wantang's face changed. The doctor frowned. That won't do. Medication and consent still require a guardian's signature. Lin Wantang quickly said, I'm his mother. I'll sign. The doctor glanced at the medical record again. The child's previous blood type record says type B. Lin Wantang nodded. Yes, the urgent blood test today shows type O. There may have been a previous recording error. It would be best to check the birth records. Lin Wantang froze. Shu Chengzhou immediately said, urgent blood tests can sometimes be affected by reagents. Let's handle the allergic reaction first. The doctor looked at him. Are you a doctor? Shu Chengzhou gave a faint smile. I'm a genetic counselor. Then please don't interfere with clinical judgment. I almost laughed, but I could not, because inside the room, Xiaochuan was crying. Very softly, he called out, Dad. His voice was so faint it sounded like he was afraid of being heard. Lin Wantang turned abruptly. My fingers tightened against the doorframe. This time, I did not step back. Move aside. Lin Wantang's eyes reddened. Gu Huai, don't cause trouble while the child is sick. I looked at her. Lin Wantang, I'm not here to argue today. I handed her the regulatory acceptance receipt. I'm here to inform you that Huaqing Forensic Testing Center has been officially reported. From now on, any retest involving Xiaochuan must be recollected under regulatory supervised. Xian, the color slowly drained from her face. Xu Chengzhou reached out for the paper. I moved it away. Mr. Xu, don't be anxious. I looked straight at him. You're in the report too. 3 days after I filed the report, the Lin family asked me to settle privately. The meeting was arranged at a tea house. Lin Qiming sat in the private room with a check placed in front of him. 5 million. He said, Gu Huai, a man should know his place. I looked at the check. Chairman Lin thinks I need this? Of course you do. His tone was steady. Your mother needs money for a hospital transfer. Your company needs money. Lawyers cost money. 5 million is enough for you to start over. What's the condition? Withdraw the report. Sign the divorce papers. Publicly admit it was all a misunderstanding. I laughed. And the child? Lin Qiming frowned. You're still thinking about the child. I raised him for 5 years, but the report already states. Which report? I interrupted. The first one, or the second one? Lin Qiming's face turned cold. Gu Huai, don't think catching a few procedural problems can overturn everything. Even if there are flaws in the reports, the result may still be correct. I nodded. Then resample. He stared at me. Wantang won't agree. Then the regulators will ask her why. For the first time, Lin Qiming fell silent. The sound of high heels came from outside. Lin Wantang pushed the door open and walked in. She looked much more haggard than she had at the press conference. Gu Huai, what exactly do you want? I looked at her. The truth. She laughed, and tears suddenly rolled down her face. The truth is that Xiaochuan is not yours. Why do you have to force everyone into this ugly situation? Then resample. She bit her lip hard. You know the child isn't in good health right now. An oral swab won't affect his health. Xu Chengzhou followed her into the room. His expression was just as grim. Gu Huai, this is no longer about seeking truth. This is obsession. I looked at him. Mr. Xu, since you're so certain, why don't you urge her to agree? His gaze shifted slightly. Aren't you the professional? I continued. The simplest retest. What are you afraid of? Lin Wantang suddenly stood up. Enough. She grabbed the teacup from the table and smashed it onto the floor. Porcelain shard scattered against my trouser leg. Gu Huai, do you have to watch me die before you're satisfied? In the past, when she acted like this, I would fall silent. I would calm her first. I would tell myself there was no need for husband and wife to measure every victory and loss. But this time, I simply pressed stop on the recorder and put it into my pocket. Lin Wantang's face changed. Your recording, mediation, and communication require records. Lin Qiming slammed the table. You set us up. I stood. Chairman Lin, after the trap you set for me, you call it scheming when I keep a record. The room went dead. Quiet. As I reached the door, Lin Wantang called after me. Gu Huai. I stopped. Her voice was hoarse. Xiaochuan no longer acknowledges you as his father. My back was to her. My fingers curled slightly. That is what you taught him. He'll forget you. I turned to look at her. Then you'd better pray he does. Because when he grows up and learns that on his 5th birthday, his own mother used him as a prop in a staged performance. I paused. He won't forgive you. All the color left Lin Wantang's face. Han Lu came to me the day after the private settlement failed. She did not call. She sent an email. The subject was simple. Mr. Gi Yu, I'd like to talk. We met at a coffee shop. She wore a hat and mask and sat in the corner. The moment she saw me, she said, I only took a business job. I didn't know they were falsifying the report. I did not sit down. I haven't asked you anything yet. Her expression turned awkward. The script Lin Wantang's team gave me said you had been emotionally controlling her for a long time, and using the child to extort money. I saw the report, so I believed it. Where's the script? She gripped her coffee cup tighter. I can give it to you, but you have to promise not to sue me. I sat down. You are in no position to negotiate terms. Her eyes reddened. Mr. Gi Yu, my account is being attacked now too. Someone dug up the transfers from Tangsing Media and said I was paid to manipulate public opinion. The Lin family told me to take the blame and say it was just a normal commercial partnership. So you're scared? She nodded. I don't want to go to jail. I looked at her. Chat logs, transfer receipts, script files, original video materials, the account list used to push the topic. Give me everything. Han Lu hesitated. If I hand it all over, can you at least write a statement saying I cooperated? That depends on how much truth you give me. She lowered her head and opened her laptop. The files were more complete than I had expected. The first video script had been sent to her 2 days before Xiaochuan's birthday party. The title had already been written. The suggested cuts had already been marked. Even the sentence, "The child hides in fear," had been prepared in advance. Han Lu explained in a trembling voice. They told me they were already going to confront you that day. They said you were emotionally unstable, and if anything happened, I had to edit the video quickly and post it first. Who contacted you? Lin Wantang's assistant. But the payment came through Tangsing Media, and the protective order video. That was also arranged in advance. She opened another folder. Inside was a chat record from the night before the kindergarten incident. The message read, tomorrow at 4 p.m., the kindergarten gate. Make sure to capture the child's fear and the father's aggressive behavior. I stared at that sentence for a long time. Aggressive behavior. I had only gone there to deliver a coat. Han Lu continued, I didn't shoot that one. Their team gave me the footage, I only posted it. Who shot it? She shook her head. I don't know his name, but the file metadata hasn't been touched. The original files all have timestamps. I put the USB drive away. When I walked out of the coffee shop, Du Heng called me. His voice was low. Gu Huai, the regulators have moved. Huacheng Center's electronic report server has been preliminarily sealed. I stopped. What did they find? I can't say too much yet. He paused. But your guess was right. The audit IP addresses for both reports are the same. The backend account was logged in under the director's credentials, but the actual operation time coincided with the director being away at a meeting. Who was physically at the center? Du Heng said. Xu Chengzhou. What truly ignited public opinion was not me. It was the Lin family themselves. After regulatory intervention began, Huacheng Center posted an announcement claiming that all recent T-online accusations were malicious rumors and that all reports issued by the center were lawful and compliant. Lin Wantang reposted the announcement with a caption, "The innocent need not defend themselves. I also ask certain people to stop hurting the child." Xu Chengzhou also posted a long article. He wrote about the paternity testing process in professional terms: sampling, amplification, genotyping, comparison. There was a great deal of technical language. Ordinary readers would not understand it, but it looked authoritative. At the end, he wrote, "Science should not be held hostage by emotion." After seeing it, Han Lu sent me a message. They still dare to post. I replied, "They dare." She asked, "Aren't you going to respond?" I replied, "Wait for the live stream." That evening, the Lin family announced that Lin Wantang and Huacheng Center would hold a joint live stream to answer public questions. The topic was dignity, truth, and the protection of children. Old Joe watched the announcement and nearly crushed his teacup. They are really stepping on your face to build a stage. I looked at the guest list. Lin Wantang, Xu Chengzhou, Director Shi of Huacheng Center. Han Lu had also been invited as an independent media observer. She sent me a screenshot of the invitation and asked, "Should I go?" I replied, "Go." She asked, "What should I say?" I replied, "Say nothing unless I tell you to." That night, Chin Min contacted me. She used a new number. Her first sentence was, "If I cooperate, can I avoid criminal liability?" I answered, "I'm not the police, but active cooperation is always better than being dragged in as an accomplice." She was silent for a long time. Then she said, "I have access logs and work schedules." My fingers tightened around the phone. "Can you send them?" I copied them before I resigned. I was afraid something would happen. Her voice shook. I didn't dare expose it at first. I have no background, I just wanted to survive. But after I saw that child crying online, I couldn't sleep. I closed my eyes briefly. "Send me what you have." Before ending the call, Chin Min whispered, "Mr. Giyu, I'm sorry." I said, "You don't owe me the apology." After the call, I received her files. Last Wednesday at 9 a.m., Chin Min had indeed been scheduled at the sampling station. The sample room access log showed Xu Chengzhou entered at 9:18 a.m. He left at 9:31 a.m. He did not have employee access at Huacheng Center. The access card used to open the door was a secondary card under Director Shui's account. At the same time, Xiaoshuan was at the kindergarten parent-child activity. In the group photo taken by the teacher, he sat on my lap with a crooked little red flower sticker on his head. I stared at that photo for a long time. In the picture, Xiaoshuan had his arms around my neck and was laughing. Back then, he still called me Dad loudly. When the live stream began, I was not on camera. I was sitting in the company conference room. Du Heng sat beside me with his computer connected to several screens. Old Joe made 3 cups of strong tea. He said, "It feels like we're going to war." Du Heng replied, "We are." In the live stream room, Lin Wantang spoke first. She wore light makeup today, looking fragile yet determined. "During this time, my child and I have endured too much online harassment." The comments filled with sympathy. She continued, "I once wanted to end this marriage with dignity, but Gu Huai refused to accept reality. He dragged the child, me, and even the testing center into the court of public opinion." I took a sip of tea. It was bitter. Then Director Shui of Huacheng Center spoke. "All testing conducted by our center strictly follows established procedures. Mr. Giyu's claims that our reports are fraudulent are completely unfounded." Xu Chengzhou sat beside him and nodded. "The public must respect science." The host asked, "Mr. Xu, many people still have questions about the timeline of the first report. Can you explain?" Xu Chengzhou said calmly, "As I explained earlier, sampling time, record entry time, and report generation time can vary. That is normal in professional testing workflows. Non-professionals may misinterpret ordinary procedural differences as evidence of fraud." Director Shui added, "Exactly. We cannot let emotional disputes damage public trust in professional institutions." The host then looked at Lin Wantang. "Ms. Lin, what do you most want to say to Mr. Gu?" Lin Wantang lowered her eyes. "I hope he lets Xiaoshuan go." Her voice broke. "Even if he resents me, he shouldn't hurt the child." Comments poured in. "Poor mother. Gu Huai is terrifying. Men like him never admit defeat. Protect the child." Old Joe slammed the table. Can I respond now? I looked at Du Heng. Du Heng stared at the screen. Wait 3 more minutes. On the live stream, Han Lu sat quietly in the corner. The host turned to her. Han Lu, as the media creator who first reported this matter, what do you think? Han Lu's hand trembled slightly. She looked at the camera, then at Lin Wantang. I used to believe Ms. Lin was the victim. The live stream comments slowed. Lin Wantang's expression changed. Han Lu continued, but recently, I received some materials. I now realize the first video I posted may have been part of a guided public opinion campaign. The host froze. Director Shui frowned. Xu Chengzhou immediately said, Ms. Han, you should be careful with your words in a matter involving a minor. Han Lu's face went pale. She stopped speaking. At that moment, Du Heng nodded at me. Now, I opened my account and posted the first item. It was the group photo from the kindergarten event. Timestamp, last Wednesday, 9:06 a.m. Location, Linhai Golden Sun Kindergarten. In the photo, Xiaoshuan sat on my lap. At the same time, the paternity report claimed he had been sampled on site at Huakeng Center. I wrote one sentence. At 9 a.m. that day, my son was with me at kindergarten. Who did Huakeng Center sample? Within 30 seconds, the live stream comments changed. Wait, what? The child was at kindergarten. Is the report timeline fake? Maybe the sample was submitted by the mother? But didn't the report say on-site sampling? Xu Chengzhou saw it too. His expression tightened, but he still tried to remain calm. This is exactly what I meant by lay people misinterpreting professional procedures. On-site sampling does not necessarily mean. I posted the second item, a screenshot of Huacheng Center's internal collection rules. For on-site collection, the subject must be physically present. The collector must verify identity, photograph the subject, and upload the record to the chain of custody system. Then I posted the third item, the access log Qin Min provided. Xu Chengzhou entered the sample room at 9:18 a.m. and left at 9:31 a.m. The access card belonged to Director Shui. The live stream room exploded. Director Shui's face changed instantly. Xu Chengzhou's hand froze on the table. Lin Wantang turned pale. The host stammered, Mr. Xu, can you explain why you entered the sample room that day? Xu Chengzhou said, I was there as an expert consultant. Du Heng laughed beside me. Consultants enter sample rooms now. I posted the fourth item, Qin Min's written statement. Miss Lin brought a sealed sample too. The child was not present. Mr. Xu entered the sample room, and after he left, the sample bag had been moved. Director Shui immediately said, this is a disgruntled former employee making false accusations. I posted the fifth item, the first report's QR code callback time. The QR code existed before the report file was generated. Then the second report's audit, IP. The backend account changed, the signatory changed, but the export IP and operation pattern matched the first report. Du Heng had marked everything, so even ordinary viewers could understand. The comments stopped being sympathetic. They turned into questions. Why did the QR code exist before the report? Why did Xu Chengzhou enter the sample room? Why is the child's kindergarten photo timestamp so clear? Is the report fake? Lin Wantang seemed to realize something and reached for her phone. I posted the sixth item, Han Lu's contract with Tangsing Media. The video script prepared 2 days before the birthday banquet. The suggested edits. The caption about the child hides in fear. The payment record of 200,000. Then I posted the original kindergarten gate video. In the unedited version, I placed the code on the ground without touching Xiaoshuan. A man deliberately bumped into my shoulder. Xiaoshuan startled and fell. Lin Wantang rushed out only after that. Finally, I posted a video from the children's room. It had been taken from Lin Wantang's side by accident, probably by a phone that had not been turned off. Jiang Rong's voice was clear. From now on, you can't call him dad. You have to call him uncle. Xiaochuan's small voice replied, but he is dad. The live stream comments slowed down. For the first time, many people stopped cursing me. Lin Wantang lunged forward, trying to shut off the equipment. The host stood in shock. Ms. Lin, Ms. Lin. The screen shook violently, but the sound continued. I heard Lin Wantang shout, turn it off now. I looked into my own camera and started my live stream. Don't turn it off. Weren't you the ones who wanted to make a public statement? I leaned closer to the camera. It's only beginning. The live stream was not cut off immediately. Too many people were watching, and the platform did not want to end it. Then a verified regulatory account entered the live stream. A blue check account posted one line, Linhai City Market Supervision Administration. The situation has been noted. An investigation is underway. The comments exploded again. Director Shui's face turned ashen. Xu Chengzhou still tried to stabilize the situation. Even if there were procedural flaws, that does not necessarily mean the final biological conclusion is wrong. Gu Huai is using technical details to mislead the public because he still refuses to face reality. Lin Wantang seemed to seize that sentence like a lifeline. Yes, even if the procedure had flaws, Xiaochuan still isn't yours. Her voice trembled, but she forced the words out. Gu Huai, stop lying to yourself. I looked at her through the screen. Is that your final argument? She clenched her teeth. Yes, I nodded. Then I posted the last document. It was the result of a supervised retest, conducted that morning under regulatory written. The sampling had been performed at Renkang Hospital after Xiaochuan's allergic reaction. The process included identity verification, video recording, sample sealing, transfer documentation, and third-party testing by an institution unaffiliated with the Line family or Huakeng Center. The conclusion was clear. Gu Huai is not excluded as the biological father of Gu Xiaochuan. The probability of paternity exceeded 99.99%. In plain language, Xiaochuan was my son. The live stream room froze. Then the comments exploded so fast the screen nearly blurred. The child really is his? So the Lin family faked the report. They used a child's birthday party to stage this. Xu Chengzhou, explain yourself. Lin Wantang, you're terrifying. Lin Wantang stared at the screen as if she had lost the ability to breathe. Xu Chengzhou suddenly stood up. That report may not be valid, I said calmly. It was collected under regulatory supervision. It has the full chain of custody, video record, and transfer log. Mr. Xu, which part do you believe is invalid? Xu Chengzhou's face was rigid. Director Xue suddenly looked at him. Mr. Xu, you said the first 2 reports would be fine. The moment he spoke, the room went silent. Xu Chengzhou turned sharply. Director Xue, you should be careful. Director Xue was already panicking. I was following your procedure, and I wasn't the only one who took money. The host was completely stunned. The number of viewers exceeded 1 million. Trending topics shot upward, one after another. Huakeng paternity test fraud. The child is Gu Huai's biological son. Lin Wantang and Xu Chengzhou, expert consultant, entered sample room. Old Joe stared at the screen and muttered, Gu Huai, you really sent the entire testing center to the top of the trending list. I said nothing. I only looked at Lin Wantang. She sat there with tears still hanging on her face. But this time, no one believed her tears. After the live stream ended, everything escalated faster than I expected. Watching Center was shut down for inspection that same day. Director Xue was taken away for investigation. Xu Chengzhou's genetic counseling qualifications, overseas credentials, and financial transactions with Huakeng-affiliated companies were all exposed. Han Lu issued a public apology. She turned over all evidence of Lin Wantang's team, buying trending topics, writing scripts, and editing videos to the platform and the police. Tangsing Media failed to deregister. Its accounts were frozen. Lin Family Healthcare's stock price kept falling. Lin Kaiming tried to suppress the news, but he could no longer contain it. He called me many times. I did not answer. Lin Wantang also tried to contact me. She sent a very long message. Gi Yu Hua, I admit I was wrong, but Xu Chengzhou deceived me too. He said that as long as you believed Xiaochuan wasn't yours, you would leave the marriage voluntarily. He said this would protect Xiaochuan and me. I only wanted to end things cleanly. I didn't expect him to tamper with the report. I read it once. Then, I forwarded it to my lawyer. My lawyer replied quickly, this statement is useful. She is admitting participation in the scheme and attempting to shift blame. Keep it. I turned off my phone. That afternoon, Lin Kaiming came to my office. He did not bring a check this time. He brought 3 lawyers. Old Joe saw them from outside and quietly asked, do you want me to call security? No need. Lin Kaiming entered and looked around my small office. In the past, whenever he came here, his eyes always carried faint contempt. Today there was exhaustion in them. Gu Huai, we need to talk. My lawyer will arrive soon. His jaw tightened. Must you be this ruthless? I looked at him. Ruthless? He took a breath. Wantang is Xiaochuan's mother. Even if she made a mistake, you shouldn't destroy her. And the Lin family raised you for 5 years. I almost laughed. Raised me? He realized the word was wrong, but it was too late. For 5 years. I had given up higher paying offers to help Lin Wantang stabilize her brand projects behind the scenes. I had cleaned up more than one risk control disaster for Lin Family Healthcare, without leaving my name on the documents. When Lin Wantang gave birth, I stopped taking long-distance projects and personally took care of Xiaochuan. Yet in their eyes, I had been raised by the Lin family. I looked at Lin Keeming and said, Chairman Lin, I hope you understand something. I never depended on your family. I only respected my wife's family. His face stiffened. My lawyer arrived soon after. He placed a document on the table. This is our formal petition for divorce proceedings, custody determination, property preservation, and reputational damage claims. We have also applied to investigate suspected transfer of marital assets. Lin Keeming's expression changed. Property preservation. The lawyer opened the file. During the marriage, Ms. Lin transferred several assets through Tangsing Media, related funds, and consulting companies connected to Mr. Xu Chengzhou. We have reason to believe these transfers were intended to conceal marital property. Lin Keiming's face darkened completely. Only then did he understand. From the beginning, I had not only been investigating the paternity test. The fake report was the knife they had handed me, and the rope they had tied around themselves. He lowered his voice. Gu Hua, do you really want to push the Lin family to the brink? I closed the file. When you forced me to sign a statement admitting extortion, did any of you think of leaving me a way out? Lin Qiming fell silent. The day Xiaoshuan was discharged from the hospital, the weather was beautiful. I went to pick him up. Lin Wantang was there too. She had lost a lot of weight. She stood at the hospital room door, holding Xiaoshuan's little school bag. Xiaoshuan sat by the bed with his head down, picking at his fingers. When he saw me, he raised his head for one quick glance, then lowered it again. Lin Wantang's eyes reddened. Gu Hua, can we talk alone? The lawyer is downstairs, I said. Talk to him if you have something to say. Her face went pale. Xiaoshuan is right here. Do you have to be like this? I looked at her. It's because Xiaoshuan is here that I don't want to argue. She had nothing to say. The doctor handed me the discharge form. The child is recovering well. Just pay attention to his diet at home. I took it. Thank you. Xiaoshuan got off the bed. He did not walk toward Lin Wantang. He did not walk toward me either. He only stood in the middle, his small hands clutching the hem of his shirt. I crouched down. Xiaoshuan, Dad is taking you home. He looked at me. His eyes were cautious. Are you still my dad? My throat tightened. Yes. Then why did Mom say you didn't want me anymore? Lin Wantang's face turned white. Xiaoshuan, Mom didn't mean. I raised my hand slightly and stopped her. Then, I looked at the child. Dad never said that. His fingers twisted together. Grandma said, you would hate me. I don't hate you. Uncle Shu said if I called you Dad, Mom would cry. I closed my eyes for a moment. When I opened them again, my voice was steady. Adults made mistakes. Those mistakes are not yours. Xiaoshuan looked at me for a long time. Then he asked in a very small voice, then can I still call you Dad? I could not answer immediately, because that question was too light and too heavy. I reached into my bag and took out his birthday hat. It was already crumpled. The 5 candles had never been blown out. The cake had never been eaten. On his 5th birthday, adults had pushed him in front of cameras and taught him what fear felt like. I put the hat back into the bag. Then, I reached out my hand. Dad never abandoned you. Xiaoshuan's tears fell. He did not cry loudly. He only moved closer, little by little, until his forehead pressed against my arm. In a faint voice, he said, Dad. I answered, I did not say anything more. I was afraid my voice would shake. Later, the Huacheng Center case was investigated thoroughly. Qin Min cooperated with the investigation as a whistleblower. She quit the clinic, and Du Heng later helped her find work as a quality control assistant at a compliant institution. Han Lu's account was suspended for 6 months. She sent me an apology letter once. I did not respond. On the day Xu Chengzhou was taken away for investigation, people were still leaving comments under his old popular science videos. Expert, come out and explain. Lin Wantang's brand department was dismantled. Lin Family Healthcare's financing failed. Lin Qiming was summoned for regulatory talks several times. Most of this news came to me through my lawyers and the media. I no longer checked Lin Wantang's social media. I did not ask how she was doing. When the court verdict came down, I was granted primary custody of Xiaoshuan. Lin Wantang retained visitation rights, but they had to be supervised until Xiaoshuan's psychologist confirmed that contact would not cause further emotional harm. The court also recognized the false public accusations and malicious media campaign as damaging to my reputation. My lawyer asked, Mr. Guiyu, should we continue pursuing compensation for reputational harm? Yes, I said. Continue. He nodded. Understood. When I walked out of the courthouse, the sunlight was almost dazzling. Old Joe waited near the entrance and handed me a bottle of water. A couple of the clients who left the company want to come back. I twisted off the cap. Raise the price. Old Joe laughed. That's exactly what I told them. Du Heng stood nearby and teased CEO Gi. Do you plan to return to judicial data work after this? Let's finish what's in front of us first. What else is there? I looked toward the roadside. Xiaoshuan was walking over with his little backpack, led by his psychology teacher. When he saw me, he paused. Then he slowly ran forward. Not like before, when he used to throw himself into my arms. He was still testing whether it was safe. I was not in a hurry. I crouched down. What do you want to eat today? He thought for a moment. Cake. I was stunned. He said, last birthday, we didn't blow out the candles. My nose stung. All right, let's buy a cake. He nodded. After a few steps, he secretly slipped his hand into mine. Very carefully, as if he were afraid I might refuse. I held his hand. Not too tightly, but I did not let go. Cars passed along the street, and the wind through the trees felt a little cool. Xiaoshuan looked up at me. Dad, can you blow out the candles with me this time? I looked at the road ahead. Yes, he smiled. It was a small smile, the kind that comes when someone is learning how to trust again. I held his hand and kept walking. There were still many messes left behind. The lawsuits, the compensation, the investigation, the company's losses, my mother's treatment. None of it was truly over yet, but Xiaoshuan's hand was in mine. Warm, real. This time, no one could take him away from me with a fake report again.